Peace and love and black power. Ashe to the ancestors, family. Pardon me for not checking in with you guys the other day at 6:30. I had some problems and inconveniences I had to take care of, but I'm back now with the information. Now, moving forward, what we are looking at is the first video that I made on serving the police department when your rights are violated. A lot of people been asking me about this particular situation. People have been inboxing me. And to those people, I will get back to you soon. Just been busy. Now it's time for the video and the new information. Knowledge is free and knowledge is for everyone. Always seek it. Never stop educating yourself. Self-education is the best education. Moving forward, this is the first video that you see that I showed serving the city of Passaic Police Department, their demand letter. Now, what is a demand letter? A demand letter is an intent to sue so you guys can mediate or come to a solution on fixing the problem of your rights being violated, right? So we know that they didn't respond because this is the second video. And someone mentioned in the comment, like, they're not going to respond anyway, right? Which is only showing a lack of accountability and responsibility in the city of Passaic and Passaic Police Department. All right, so this is the second video that we see, and you see this is the follow-up serving the Passaic Police Department in the city of Passaic. What to do if the demand letter is not answered for violation of your rights and freedom. Now, we see that I'm serving them, and they're not answering the demand letter. Now, this is the third video, okay? So what do you do when they don't answer that demand letter? All right? So you start filing a federal civil suit against them, right? And we're going to go into what's a federal civil suit, okay? And they call that civil suit a 1983 complaint form. You are looking at the actual complaint form. We'll get to where to file this at later, right? Now, I'm not giving you legal advice as an attorney. I'm giving you advice as self-representation, right? This is pro se. So if you do not have monies to, in which you don't actually need to have monies in order to file a civil suit, okay, this is the cover sheet. You fill out this cover sheet, okay? Just read the instructions, go through it, right? This gives you a general breakdown of what you're suing for, and we'll get to that a little bit later on. This is the this is the non-prisoner complaint form, the actual complaint form. You'll put in your information here, right? And this would be the District Court of New Jersey, which is located in Camden, Trenton, and Newark, right? You fill that out, right? I'm just showing you the complaint form so you can get familiar with what you're going to be signing, right, in order to complete this, all right? And then what else you're going to need is the electronic consent form, okay? So you can communicate with the courts via email at this time, all right? So the other thing that I wanted to put up here that I didn't put up here is the prepayment fees. Now, you don't necessarily have to pay directly out of your pocket to file this lawsuit. You can always sign a prepayment waiver, okay? Now, let's go here, moving forward. Now, what you can, while filing this, you can also add the city into the lawsuit by filing what is known as a Monel Claim, all right? And a Monel Claim, you see here, this is the law, Monell versus Department of Social Services, right? And it says particularly, petitioners, female employees of the Department of Social Services and the Board of Education of the City of New York brought this class action against the department and its commissioner, the board and its chancellors, in the City of New York and its mayor under 42 U.S.C. in 1983, which provides that every person who, under color of any statute, ordinance, regulation, custom, or usage of any state subjects or causes to be subjected any person to the deprivation of any federally protected rights, privileges, or immunities shall be civilly liable to the injured party. Okay. Now this is the actual statute that you will use in order to sue when you filing in your complaint form, when you filling in your complaint form. All right. Now for and moving forward, I'm gonna actually go to the statute itself. 42 U.S. Code 1983, civil action for deprivation of rights. All right, this is the code you would use in order to sue, right? And it says here, every person who, under color of any statute, ordinance, regulation, custom, or usage of any state or territory or the District of Columbia, subjects or causes to be subjected any citizen of the United States or other person with the jurisdiction thereof to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured by the Constitution and laws, shall be liable to the party injured in an action at law, suit in equity, or other proper proceeding for redress, except that in any action brought against a judicial officer for an act or omission taken in such officer's judicial capacity, injunctive relief shall not be granted unless a declaratory decree was violated or declaratory relief was unavailable. For the purposes of this section, any act of Congress applicable exclusively to the District of Columbia shall be considered to be statute of the District of Columbia. Basically, what that's saying is that if any officer in their official capacity or any public official in their official capacity deprive any citizen of their rights, they can be sued. And it's just notifying you of what qualified immunity is as well, because officers and public officials are due qualified immunity as well. We give them that back for their service, for protection, right? Now, I explained what is 42 U.S. Code 1983 civil action of deprivation of rights. And I explained what's a Monel claim, right? And I explained what you do when they do not answer your demand letter and they do not want to mediate. You have to move to this step, right? Now, the good thing about this is, since they didn't want to mediate with me, I went ahead and helped the young lady. I assisted the young lady, and we got it done. Here's her code here. Now, we are definitely in court. It is definitely time these people will be subpoenaed to court. Those officers, the City of Passaic attorneys, they will be subpoenaed to court. The suit is definitely in at this point. Okay, and this is how you move forward. Now, for people who are being discriminated against with private businesses, right? You will use the same form, right? But you won't sue under under this section. You won't sue under 42 U.S. Code 1983, civil action for deprivation of rights. That's only with dealing with government body and public entities, public officials. Okay. When you're dealing with, let's say, a lift, okay, let's say a bodega store, let's say someone denied you services like Dunkin' Donuts, okay, let's say any one of those private businesses that tend to discriminate against you, this is what you would sue them under. Thanks to Martin Luther King help, we got this going on and moving in. Which is known as the Civil Rights Act of 1964. If you go down here, you'll see in Title Section 2, it says public accommodations. Here, you see where it says public accommodations. This title prevents private businesses that serve the public from discriminating based on race, color, religion, or national origin, and etc. So when you're dealing with private businesses and they discriminating against you, or you try to go get an apartment and they block bust against you, they use the block buffing method to keep your type of people or your race of people out of a certain community. These methods are still being practiced, but people are not suing on the basis they don't know what to sue for. You know, and that's why I encourage you to go get a lawyer if you don't know what you're doing. Me, I just prepare myself for, you know, situations like this because I'm not one to be taken advantage of. So I prepare myself very well, you know, and I prefer that you would do the same, you know. You don't want people getting over on you, you know. You don't want people taking advantage of you, you know, because people know the law. But when you don't know the law, you know, you'll bypass these things like they're nothing. You know, I've seen people who, you know, in real estate where, you know, they discriminated against another person and the person knew the law and they sued under the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And, you know, that property owner end up losing their property because of it. So, you know, be very mindful of that. Be very mindful and use this law. Okay. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share with y'all. I mean, that was the news. All right. You know, just because these police officers hide behind their badges, you know, by doing dirty acts, committing dirty acts, you know, doesn't mean that, you know, they won't be penalized for it. OK. And this is the way that you get them penalized. OK. You know, you follow this method. All right. And you'll have the last laugh in court. It'll be you laughing in court, not them. Okay. So I hope I informed y'all. I'm going to keep y'all updated. If you have any questions, if you want to know what steps you can take, you can email me or DM me or inbox me. I have no problem with delivering the info. All right. Peace and love and black glory. Peace and love and black glory. Peace and love and black glory. 100, y'all.